What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about things you need to know before you go to a London pub. As I've talked about before, it took me a long time to understand what the heck a pub even is. In America, we don't have pubs. I've spent several videos dedicated to studying, like a science, what pubs are in the UK versus bars in America. In America, bars are like, you go there at night only, you get drinks, you might play pool or billiards, you might go to a sports bar where there's televisions on the walls and you're watching basketball and football. But pubs are this whole different thing, this culture, pub culture, especially in London, in the UK at large, it's just, how do I describe it, nicer? Like, you bring your friends, you might go with your family, you might go during the day, you might go and just have food, you might go and just relax. Like, I have some pictures here even that I found of pubs. Like, look at this thing. I think this is in London even. This is just nice. This is like too nice. I would never call this at like an American bar. Like, and this as well, it's well lit. It's nice. Like, pubs are just a totally different animal than bars. So I felt like this video was very appropriate. Because if I ever find myself going into a London pub or something, I don't want to be embarrassed. So this video is literally things you gotta know before visiting the London pub, which I think is going to be very entertaining. I'm really curious how different it is to just going into an American bar. What are all these things you gotta do differently or be watchful for? I don't know, but I'm ready to find out. So let's take a look.
Do you tip the bartender? How do you order a drink? I'm going to tell you some of the important things to know before you visit a pub in London. By the way, I'm Jess and I've lived in London for over 5 years and I make videos for people who are coming to visit London. If you've never been before, I have a special freebie for you, so make sure you watch the end of the video to find out how to get it. Order at the bar. At most pubs, you'll go up to the bartender, order a drink, pay for it there, and then take it to wherever you are sitting.
Are you supposed to pay for it right then and there, like every time you get a drink? Because in America, most of the time you go up to the bar, get the bartender's attention, and you would open a tab where you basically give them your credit card or credit card information, and then at the end of the night, pay for everything you have purchased all night, all at once. But I don't know if it's just the way she said it, or if tabs are a thing in London pubs as well. I would think so, but she happened to say that you go up and pay every time, so I'm actually a bit curious about that now.
Order a drink, pay for it there, and then take it to wherever you are sitting. The same goes for if you're also going to be having food. You just go to the bar, tell the bartender what you want, they put the order in, and you pay the bartender there. The only difference is if the pub has a special restaurant section, then you'll have regular table service like you would at a typical restaurant. When in doubt, if you're not sure how the pub works, just find a staff member and ask what the deal is.
No. That's why we're here watching this video. I'm not going to be that guy, that American in London, asking the staff for help. No, I'm gonna fake it till I make it, or I don't have to. I'm watching the video on how to behave in the London pubs, so I'll be good to go, right?
Order beer and cider by the pint. So it's customary.
Oh, by the pint, right. This is very critical.
Staff member and ask what the deal is. Order beer and cider by the pint. Yes. So it's customary to go up to the bartender and say, I'd like a pint of whatever drink is on tap that you want. You can also ask for a half pint if you don't want a big drink and you just want a little bit. Most bars will also have bottled beer in fridges behind the bar, so you can kind of have a look at what they have, or ask the bartender and order yourself a bottled beer or cider as well. You can stay.
Okay. I would call that all pretty darn similar to like an American bar, to be honest.
Outside with your drink. When a pub starts.
Oh, hold on. I didn't catch that. something about drinking outside here. Very critical information here.
Yourself a bottled beer or cider as well. You can stand outside with your drink. When a pub starts to get crowded and all the seats are taken up, people start to just stand around in circles with their drinks, or if it's a somewhat decent day, they'll go outside and spill out onto the streets and the pavement outside of the pub. In fact, you know when it's quitting time because you'll see all the pubs around London have people spilling out of them or crammed inside if it's too cold to be outside.
I was curious about this, whether it was okay to like bring your glasses and stuff outside. I wasn't sure about that, so that's good. You can do that at most bars in America, but in a different video, I had heard something about pub gardens, like pubs with fancy, dedicated outdoor areas. Like, I don't know if there's actual gardens or not, but I've heard of a pub garden. Like, I think that's in the back, though. Not clear to me. But I guess it makes sense, because in some pubs you can go outside and be in this cool area of the pub outside with your beer and having the time of your life.
Pubs are family affairs. Almost all pubs around London are family affairs during the day, especially on the weekend. In fact,
Let me stop it right there. That is, without a doubt, the number one biggest difference between bars in America and pubs in the UK. The fact that it's a family affair, that is just couldn't be further from the truth in America. Like, I mean, I guess if your entire family is above the age of 21, then it's a family affair, but like going to a bar as like a family hangout is just, that's not what it's for. That ain't what it's for. So I find that to be kind of funny how different that is.
London are family affairs during the day, especially on the weekend. In fact, it's...
Oh, during the day specifically. I feel like that's worth noting as well. That's interesting. During the day at pubs, it's for family, hanging out. Like, I think lots of towns in the UK, everyone kind of has their local pub where people all kind of get used to each other and know each other and hang out at the pub, and it's like a meeting place, and it's kind of cool, honestly. It's kind of cool. We don't have that in America. That actually sounds kind of neat, like an adult playground, the adult hangout or something. It's cool. But yeah.
It's really common for families to bring their kids and their dogs to the pub on a Sunday or a Saturday and have a really nice Saturday or Sunday pub lunch or even dinner.
Bring their kids and their dog. Bring their kids or their dog. Like, what? The funny thing is, Americans would like love it if people brought their dog to the bar. Americans would like go crazy and be like, this is the best. Especially since they'd be a little drunk. They'd really be enjoying themselves. It's funny that also in the UK, is family time at the pub, it's like daytime. Nighttime is when everyone cuts loose and things get a little crazy. Is that kind of right? So daytime or weekends at the pub is for family. I can't believe that means children. In America, like most people, society, let's call it, believes in not exposing children to alcohol and stuff like that. Even adults around them drinking alcohol, really. Especially in public. That is just completely forbidden. So the idea that children and families and dogs, I love that, are all hanging out at the pubs is like the greatest kind of indicator that pubs are totally different than bars. That's for sure.
It feels more like a casual restaurant rather than like a bar. So if you really want to feel like a local, take the whole family to a pub and act like you're British. You order by rounds. Typically when Londoners go to a pub together, what they do is they all order rounds so that people don't have to each go up individually and get their own drinks.
Yeah, that's a different thing. The rounds culture. The whole rounds thing. I like the idea of rounds. Americans don't do rounds, but what a lot of Americans will do is go to the bar and someone will buy like a pitcher a gallon or a big pitcher of beer. If you go to some crazy places, it'll be a giant tube of beer, like way bigger than this even. Yeah. Like a giant tube of beer. It's kind of funny. That comes out of a spout or nozzle. Or a big pitcher container, and everyone will share it. So you can buy a pitcher of beer for the table, which is kind of like the equivalent of buying a round in the UK or London, I think, basically. So, same premise, different execution, I guess.
You can kind of tell if you're in a big group, that would be pretty easy for you to get drunk fairly quickly with this method. And you don't have to go by this method if it's just you and your travel buddy, but it does make things a lot easier. So everyone doesn't have to go and wait up at the bar for like 15 minutes for their drink.
Yeah, it is very efficient. But if you're buying rounds, like everybody a round of beer at once, do you have to wait till everyone finishes their drink to go get the next round, or is it just like go at your own pace? Or I don't know. I'm kind of diving into the nitty gritty details here, but I want to know.
It's casual dress. Most pubs during the day are super casual in terms of what you wear. The only exception is later in the evening, where you might start to see people who are more dressed up because they are either going for a nicer dinner afterwards, or they plan to go to the club after they're at the pub.
Yeah, I'd say that's the same in American bars. Like, people dress casually, people dress a little better at times. It's just like kind of whatever.
So in the evening, you can do either or. You can be a little more casual, or it's totally fine to be dressed up too. Seat yourself. Generally speaking, at pubs, it's a seat yourself kind of affair. You might see there's little reserve signs on some of the tables, as a lot of pubs do take reservations. So if you can think that far ahead, it would be good to make a reservation if you have a little bit of a larger group.
That's interesting, because seeing some of the pubs, like especially in London, they look so nice, beautiful, fancy even. I would almost expect like there to be more rules, like having somebody seat you, like reservations. She said sometimes there's reservations, but reservations and maybe having to dress up nicer or something. But no, it seems like quite the opposite. Pubs are this very casual gathering place where people are just doing their own thing, very lighthearted, casual, which is very nice. It's lovely, actually. I love that. And it's just like in America, if you were to stumble across a bar that looked as nice as the pubs seem to look and as cozy, you'd almost think it was like a fine dining establishment or something. I'd be like, oh, there has to be a lot of rules here, but it's not really the case, which is pretty cool.
And especially if you want to eat on a weekend or later in the evening. Otherwise, it's every person for themselves when it comes to seating. Not all pubs are equal. There is a huge range of pubs in London, all the way from really fancy, nice gastro pubs with like really beautiful high-end food and that are more expensive, down to chains like Wetherspoons, which are known for doing really cheap food and also cheap alcohol. Of course.
Wetherspoons? Is that like a famous pub? Is that a chain? Wetherspoons? Can I look that up? It is a company. It is coming up on Google. J.D. Wetherspoon is a pub company operating in the UK. Yeah. It's a chain. A chain of pubs in the UK and Ireland? Wow, why is Wetherspoons so famous? It's made out of former cinemas, banks that have been converted into pubs. What? That is cool. Why is Wetherspoons so cheap? Oh, geez. Say no more. Wetherspoon pubs are free houses. Can shop around for the best prices and drinks. Huh. Wow. Wetherspoons. Okay, nice. I'm gonna remember that name. The cheap pub. The McDonald's of pubs or something? I don't know.
Which are known for doing really cheap food and also cheap alcohol.
Sign me up. I like McDonald's. Weatherspoons sounds good.
Of course, the food quality is gonna vary greatly across all different types of pubs, but if you're just going for a drink, don't stress too much about finding the perfect pub. You can't really go wrong if you're just ordering pints from somebody at a bar. And if you get a drink and you're not keen on the atmosphere, just finish the drink and move on to the next one. You don't tip the bartenders. Americans, I think, will love this. You do not need to tip bartenders when you are here in London or even in the UK.
That's a good one. No, you don't have to tip the bartender. I guess you could if you wanted. It'd just be weird, a little unexpected. Americans tip the bartender in American bars. Sometimes you're tipping the bartender just so the bartender will remember you. They'll actually get you more drinks, pay more attention to you as a customer. There's actually a utility, a purpose in tipping the bartender well, actually, for Americans, that they'll give you better customer service, honestly. So that's an interesting difference, but it's honestly probably nice that you just don't have to worry about that whole song and dance when you're in a pub.
If you plan on visiting a pub when you're here in London, let me know down in the comments. And if it's your first time visiting London, grab my free London 101 guide. It tells you everything you need to know before you touch down here in London town. You can get that by clicking the card. For people who are coming to visit London.
Okay, I think that's it. That is it. Okay, very good. That was actually pretty helpful. There was some useful stuff in here. I've learned a little bit about pubs, but this actually had more information, so I don't completely embarrass myself by tipping people in the pub and stuff. This video was by Love and London, and I liked it. I gotta give it a like. What do we have here? The rounds as well. I'm trying to remember the lessons here. Order by the pint. You can drink outside. That's okay. Drink in rounds. Yes, that's different. Dress code is cash. The dress code. I'm very concerned about the dress code, obviously. Casual. Seat yourself, which might have surprised me. Not all pubs are equal. I might have to check out Weatherspoons. Okay. I mean, it just sounds like pubs are like the nicest places ever. I don't think I'd be that nervous, honestly, after listening to this video. They just seem like almost like you're home away from home, the way people describe them. It's fascinating. It's this fascinating entity that is so culturally important in the UK and simply does not exist in America. Like, bars are not. If the bar is your home away from home, you have a problem, probably. It's not a good thing. Whereas pubs are like this nice place you sometimes go with your family. It's very wholesome. Your children, your dog. It's nice. It's different, but I enjoy learning about it. This gave me a bit of an even better understanding of the whole London or UK pub situation, the etiquette and everything, which is good. I'm very curious about this pub phenomenon in general, so this satisfied me. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to the UK or UK culture or stuff in the UK I've never learned about or seen, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.